Let's fill out my prize pick bets for day one of CDL Champs, as well as we're going to use the new Breaking Point prize pick stat lab, which is going to be super cool to be able to help us see if we want to pick any of these players on the over or the under. The new prize pick stat lab is really cool. So you can select players, you can do maps 1 through 3, or you could do single maps. So right here, I have skies selected. You fill in the over under here based on what it says on prize picks, which is 21.5. You select the game mode, which is hardpoint in this case, and you can see 52.6% of the time skies hits the under of 21.5, and 47% of the time he gets over. You can see a whole bunch of things, and if you go back to maps 1 through 3, you can kind of see here, you fill out the over under there. You get the distribution based on all these different players down here as well. Pretty cool. You can kind of see what the standard deviation and how close to these lines the player ends up getting. So first things first, I want to look at the map 3 control kills, and we're going to look at Hydra here and see if we should pick the over or the under. Now, pretty interesting here, 77.6% of the time Hydra hits the under 26.5 kills on control, as you can see here. And you can also look at individual map results, which I think is really cool. So you can see here at Major 5, he only got over 26.5 kills in 2 maps. So picking Hydra on the under for 26.5 kills versus the Rocker actually could be a pretty good pick. And you can even go as far as to filter his maps versus the team individually. So we can select our opponent here in Minnesota Rocker, and you can see that 66% of the time he is the under. He hasn't had over 26.5 kills versus the Rockers since stage 3, and he's played them 3 times since then. So picking the under on Hydra here could be a pretty good pick. Let's take a look at accuracy. 46.5 for his map 1 through 3 kills. As you can see here, he tends to go under 46.5 in maps 1 through 3. But if we also filter this by his performances versus Atlanta FaZe, you see it's even worse when you look at his versus FaZe, which is kind of crazy. On average, he's putting up 35 kills through the first 3 maps versus Atlanta FaZe, which is just totally insane. I mean, he just gets absolutely dominated by FaZe. It really looks like Control is where he really gets crapped on, but picking the under on accuracy for maps 1 through 3 versus FaZe seems to be pretty locked. Now let's take a look at Dashy's map 1 through 3 kills. It's here at 51.5. If we check it out, he's literally right under 51.5 at 51.4 on average. But if we filter by Boston, who is they're going to be playing, you can see here it goes up to over 12% over the line. So he tends to perform pretty good against Boston. So picking his over on this series right here looks to be a solid bet. Next one I'm looking at here is Beans kills in map 1 hardpoint versus Optic Texas. You can see here the line is 23.5, and 58% of the time he ends up under 23.5. But if we filter it by Optic Texas, 85.7, or 6 out of the 7 maps in hardpoint versus Optic this season, he's ended with under 23.5 kills. So he's only done it 1 time against Optic, hitting the over on this one. So I'm going to take the under for sure. My 5th bet for this parlay is the map 2 SND kills for Draza against Toronto Ultra. Draza is 4 out of 5 times hit the over when it comes to 6.5 kills versus Toronto Ultra. If we look at the individual maps, he hasn't dropped less than 6.5 kills since stage 2 against Ultra. So overall, he seems to perform very well in Search and Destroy, which I'm sure a lot of people know, but against Ultra, he even steps it up further. So I'm going to be taking the over on that. I can't even make this up. Midway through recording, I get a notification on Prize Picks that Dashy's map 1 through 3 kills were actually increased from 51.5 to 52.5, which is hilarious because I literally have him on my parlay. So they seem to have been aware, I guess. Maybe a lot of people are taking advantage of this parlay here. So that's a bit unfortunate. I'm going to keep my over on the Dashy parlay because, like I said, he performs very well against Boston Breach. But very interesting. I bet a bunch of you out there are taking the same thing as me, hence why they just updated. The last pick I'm going to be looking at for my parlay here is Scrap 56.5 for 56.5 kills for maps 1 through 3. Oh my gosh, tongue twister for some reason. As you can see here, he's actually really close to the line at 56.4 on average. But when we filter by LA Thieves, and this hurts my heart as a Thieves fan, the dude fries LA. I mean, like, he really fries. His average against LA Thieves is 65 kills for maps 1 through 3, or 71 is his median. I mean, when you look at some of these performances, 40 kills, 43 kills in hardpoint, an 11, a 9 in SND, and then obviously a couple 30 bombs and control. He seems to fry LA Thieves, so I am going to take the over, although I'm really hoping my Thieves can pull out the win. And then pretty cool here, I get like a free 6 pick or something like that, so it cost me $0 to win 125. We're just going to take that free pick because why not? And yeah, these are my 6 picks for day 1 of CDL Champs 2023. Let me know what you think of these prize picks. I don't know how I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to have to cut out a lot. I've been recording for 20 minutes, obviously, because I was playing around with the Stat Lab. But hopefully I showcase this well to you guys. And if you haven't checked it out, make sure to check out the BreakingPoint Stat Lab. It seems super, super cool. And if you haven't used Prize Picks, you can use Prize Picks if it's available in your country or state. And it's a pretty good way to bet on player parlays. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.